Good evening, everyone. My name's Poppy Brett, and I'm the director of Lifecycle, which is a Bristol-based charity that promotes cycling. And tonight we're going to talk to you about Two's Company.
I'm Paul Barnett, and I'm a Two's Company participant.
Back in 2006, I was in the Lifecycle office working away, and the phone rang. Nothing unusual in that. And there was a woman called Anna on the other end. And she started to tell me how much she loved cycling. She then went on to tell me that she was beginning to lose her sight. It had started fairly gradually, but had got worse and worse, and she'd finally had to accept that she couldn't cycle anymore. She then went on to ask me if we had a tandem that we could take her out on. Well, I said we didn't, but I'd make some inquiries and get back to her. So I put the phone down and I thought about it. And I thought, well, yeah, we could get a tandem and we could take her out. And then I thought, well, she can't be the only visually impaired person in Bristol who'd like to go cycling. Maybe we could get a few tandems and take a few people out. And so Two's Company was born. It started on a wing and a prayer, but 6 years on, we run about 26 rides a year for 70 participants aged from 7 to 77. We completely rely on a team of fantastic sighted volunteers who ride at the front of tandems and give up their Saturday or Sunday to come riding with us. A typical ride starts at about 10 AM and finishes at 4. We have a break in the middle for fish and chips or a picnic. And we take about 8 tandems on each ride. We plan the route so we can get out of the city and get into the countryside and have a bit of fresh air and experience the sounds and the smells of the country. We also try and cater for different abilities and fitness. Some people are quite fit, some have much less fitness and stamina, so we have longer and shorter rides. Favourites are the strawberry line and the pill path, which I'm sure some of you will know. The benefits of Two's Company are enormous and very varied. There's the obvious benefit of exercise. It's vital, it gives vital opportunities to visually impaired people to exercise. It can be very difficult if you can't see to go swimming or to go for a jog or to join in team sports. That's virtually impossible. But it's also had some really unexpected results. People have told me that Two's Company has really transformed their lives and their outlook. One participant said, "It made me realise that losing my sight wasn't the end of the world and that I could still do things. It's really restored my confidence and motivation to take part in life." And another unexpected benefit has been that it's broken down barriers between sighted and non-sighted people, and new friendships have been spawned. Another participant commented, "Two's Company is very important to me. It gives me a social life and has allowed me to make new friends and be accepted by sighted people, which can be a rarity." Over to Paul.
Hi everyone. I have Marfan syndrome, which is a genetic condition which has been passed on to my 2 daughters, Annie, who's 12, and Molly, who's 10. Marfan's affects us in a number of ways, with our eyesight, heart and spine being the areas that are impacted for us most. In terms of our eyesight, it means that we can't ride a bike solo, or that I can't drive a car, and we can't see in the dark or in bright light very easily. I first became aware of Two's Company when my most severely visually impaired daughter Annie was invited to a joint tandem ride and boat trip through an RNIB children's activities programme called Action Airs. We weren't able to go, but I thought it was such a good idea that I looked it up on the internet and found out about Lifecycle and found out more. As a result of that conversation, Annie and Molly were invited along to the next tandem ride. I came along as well because they didn't have the confidence to go on their own. I really enjoyed the ride, as did they, and in conversation with the coordinator, I found out that there were adult rides as well as children's rides, and she invited me to come along. I have now been riding regularly for 5 years, and the group is a big part of my social life and has opened up new doors for me and my children. I have made many good friends and joined a choir of predominantly visually impaired singers as a result of my involvement with Two's company. The rides provide me with good exercise. As a single parent, bringing up 2 children with disabilities, I often feel quite isolated and find it difficult to motivate myself. I've noticed how much more able I feel to take things on in the few days after a ride. My 2 daughters really enjoy the ride still, and they have grown in confidence since taking part. They are now happy to go along on their own, something they would never have done a few years ago, providing me with a regular short break, which I appreciate. And I have 2 children that come home absolutely exhausted, straight to bed, which I think is every parent's dream.
So Two's company has really developed a momentum of its own. The participants are involved in planning the rides each year, and they also help to fundraise for the project. Last year, 22 of us abseiled off the Create Centre, which was absolutely terrifying, but we raised over £8,000. It's a really important project to so many people, and to make it happen, we need to recruit and train volunteers, we need qualified ride leaders, and we need to maintain our tandems in roadworthy condition. And this alone comes to about £4,000 a year. Your support tonight will mean that we can cover some of these costs, and that we can make sure that Paul, Annie and Molly and others can continue to experience the joys, the equality, the freedom, the friendship and the exhilaration of Two's company. Thank you very much.